Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we are talking about Tesla Cannon, a new gun that we're supposed to get with the next season. And how do we know it's a season reward? When we craft it currently on public test server, we can find it under energy guns section, and it is marked with atom shop symbol. That usually indicates it will be dropped through the season pass. So that's a new weapon. It's a heavy gun. It's a Tesla cannon. There is a series of modifications possible for it, a lot. And there are some good and bad things about it. First, I'm happy that we do have a lot of possible modifications. Unfortunately, as with a lot of weapons, they do not change much, and there is not so many real choices, as one of those mods gives really good damage, cuts down fire rate, but gives really good damage. Other modifications can give you some other bonuses like crit damage, but you are trading off the base damage. So is it worth to have more damage, like 50 extra damage with crit, but 25 less damage with regular shot? At the end of the day, it's a wash. You basically have the same damage. Since criticals were changed to be additive, it's not more beneficial than adding 25% to the base damage. It's the same thing. Now, other mods have some additional properties like hip fire accuracy or different fire rate on them. One is lower, one is higher. So in general, you trade off fire rate for damage per shot. And there is some logic into it, but outside of that, there is a lot of other modifications that I can't really see much use case for. Unfortunately, for most of those. Triple resonant wave oscillator is probably what everyone will be using on this weapon. Now, the barrel options, again, there is a series of barrel options, and here the same story repeats. You trade fire rate for the damage. You can go for balance option, choose the highest damage on first mod, and then highest fire rate on second one, which will give you a nice balance. Still high damage, and simultaneously good fire rate. And I have a series of those Tesla cannons modified with possible options. Then ampacity basically means higher ammo capacity for the cost of reload speed, but doubles the ammo capacity, so I would say it's good, it's a must-have. The scoped option, night vision, recon, or standard sights. Then assembly. There is one mod that I think it's superior over stock assembly, as it gives damage resistance reduction for enemies, but it's only 10%, so it's not a significant difference. It's a little bit of a help, and it does help your teammates, as it does reduce the target damage resistance rather than giving you armor piercing ability. So that's a must-have. Now, what I prepared, there is a series of those cannons. One is fully modded with maximal possible damage. Simultaneously, most of them I equip with anti-armor, rapid, and swift, so faster fire rate, otherwise fire rate would be 7. Anti-armor to improve the damage a little bit, and I'm on the full health heavy gunner build, so that's the damage you can see in here. That's the full health heavy gunner build. So that's the highest possible damage I was able to get. Then this one is balanced, so still good damage because I combined triple resonant wave oscillator with Nikola Series 2 that increases the fire rate and legendary rapid effect. So that's the balance option, fire rate versus damage. As you can see, you are sacrificing 100 damage, but you are getting 70% better fire rate, so it may be worth to go for the balance version. I tried to modify one for VATS. It's generally not a good idea. The damage drop is crazy, and those extra critical damage that I have on it does not compensate, so will not be even using this one that I modded for VATS. No point. And I equip it with less AP cost. It's still 19, and extra crit damage. cannot compensate, unfortunately. So in my opinion, two best options, either full damage, slow firing, or the balanced one with still good damage. The other possible modifications I was testing just to see if they will maybe have some extra effect that I'm not seeing, but no. So those two are basically the valid options. This is one that is non-legendary but modded for balance, so I will showcase you non-legendary as well. And this is just plain, just to have it as a comparison. Plain crafted Tesla cannon comes with those stats. Now, before we start firing at enemies, I have some bad news. If you are expecting it to be actual Tesla, similar to Tesla rifle, it is not at all. What is similar to Tesla is the look of projectiles, not how it works. I know, it's probably not what you want to hear. It's not what I wanted to hear either. So, with this build, that what I currently have in here, you may notice I have Demo Expert because it is explosive weapon. It is not a Tesla. It is benefiting from Demo Expert a little bit. So, the damage of that cannon, 438. If I unequip Demo Expert, the damage goes down to 416. So we can see it's a pretty standard explosive effect. It is large though, so that's a benefit, I would say, if you want to use it for tagging. But let me show you on enemies. And look how pretty is this Tesla when you hold it. Real cannon. So I was so excited when I first time saw this new weapon. And as you may guess, spoiler alert, I'm not excited anymore because I already know I will not really use it. And here's why. Going with the highest damage option, I cannot one-shot anything. You can see this super mutant took very little damage, and even headshot is not enough at full health, as a bloodied headshot would be enough. If you pay close attention whenever I fire, I am taking a little bit of damage myself. So it is not Tesla, this is just explosion. It's cool looking, electrical looking explosion, but it is not it. It's regular explosion with different graphic added to it, and that's as fast as I can fire this one, modded for full damage. If I swap it for my balance option, the fire rate will be much better now. But if I don't aim for a head, it's harder to kill. Robots are attacking me for some reason. If I use it in VATS... Oh, come on. It works. The VATS accuracy is not bad. With the critical, almost one-shotting with a balanced one. With full damage, I would be able to one-shot with a critical to the head. And as you can figure out, it's way easier to one-shot them with just a plasma caster. That works in very similar manner, but without the blinding explosion. This explosion is quite huge, especially with Grenadier equipped, and kind of blinding. You can use the scope, but it's even worse for the blinding effect. So the range is quite good, not as good as plasma caster, so in every aspect this weapon is weaker than a plasma caster. It just have those cool explosions, large radius explosion. If I will use different options that I modified with different mods, there is no distinct difference in the use case. Those are the same explosions. I'm just losing damage for no reason, sometimes getting a fire rate, so this is modified to have high fire rate. But what I do with this high fire rate, if I lose damage, in that case scenario, it's only good for tagging. As you can see, tagging damage is very low no matter what you do, so if you don't directly hit, you will never kill anything. It's not a launcher, it's just a heavy explosive plasma caster with cooler effects and bigger explosive radius, but much lower damage. So I so want to be excited about it, but I am not. I cannot be in this state that this weapon is at. If I take the non-legendary one, of course I'm losing damage, so it's even worse. And my health dropped, so now I do have adrenal effect running from mutation, and it's still Not really enough. I hope something will change about this weapon before release. But full, drastic change, changing it into actual Tesla, I don't know if that's possible. Can it be changed? I would love it to be a Tesla. So, you know, Tesla rifle works totally differently. Bouncing to enemies, doing high bounce damage, and do not do any damage to yourself. You do not damage yourself with regular Tesla. You do with this thing. And I was so excited for the first look. And then so disappointed that it's not it. And it's, as they say, dead on arrival. I hate to say it. I hope something will change. I want to be excited about it. I love new toys. But this one, it's just a toy for a display. For now. Or a toy for tagging on events, maybe. Maybe for tagging on events. But we already have so many tagging weapons. So I don't know. Let me know what is your opinion. Knowing what you know now about this new weapon. And that being said, as always, thank you all for watching. And see you all in the next one.